Good morning, Year 4. It is Tuesday, the 2nd of February, and it is maths again. Yay! Today we are going to be looking at what a fraction is. But first, as always, we are going to warm up. So if you can have a look at this, please. I have these digits. I've got an 8, I've got a 1, I've got a 3, and I've got a 9. I am saying that the smallest number I can make with these digits is 3,198. Am I right? Pause and have a go. Okay, press go again. So hopefully that's because you've realised that I am not right. The smallest number that I can make is actually 1,389. If I want to make the smallest number, I have to put the smallest digit in the largest column. Okay, so the 1 goes into the thousands column. Then the next smallest digit goes into the hundreds column, which is 3. Next, which should be the 8, should go into the tens column, and then the biggest number should end up, biggest digit should end up in the ones column, so it's worth the least amount of money. If you want an extra little challenge, pause again and see what the biggest number is that you can make. Okay, I expect some of you sat there thinking, I didn't want that extra challenge, thanks, Mrs. Eggleshaw. But for those of you that did, here it is. The answer, the biggest number that you can make out of those digits is 9,831. So it's the sort of opposite way round. If you want to make the biggest number, you take the biggest, the greatest digit, the digit worth the most, and you put it in the biggest column and so on and so forth. So 9,831. Okay, moving on to what a fraction is. So a fraction is a thing that we use to describe something that is less than 1. When it's not a whole, we're describing less than a whole. So we haven't got the whole thing, and we've just got a fraction of it or a bit of it, and then we use a fraction to describe it. And the numerator and the denominator we talked about a lot yesterday. So the denominator is the bit on the bottom, is a number on the bottom. A whole number goes on the bottom, tells you how many equal groups or pieces there are, and the numerator is the number on the top that tells you how many of those groups you get or how many are coloured in. Okay, so have a little think about what these images are representing. If you could pause it for a minute, see if you can write down the fractions for these numbers. And just to say, for this one, it's how many are pink there. And for this one, we'll do how many are spotty. Okay, off you go. Okay, so hopefully you have done these. So let's have a look at the first one. 6 equal pieces, 5 of them coloured in, so we should have 5/6. This one here, again, there are 6 equal pieces, and this time just 1 of them are shaded in. So that's a unit fraction, isn't it? Because it's just 1, the denominator is 1. This one's a non-unit fraction because it's got a numerator that's greater than 1. And this one doesn't matter if you counted the pink or the green, you'll end up with the same fraction, 3/6. Again, non-unit because the numerator is bigger than 1. Over here we had 10 pieces and 2 of them are shaded pink, so we're 2/10. And down the bottom we're doing our spotty sweets, so that is 1/6. So that is a unit fraction as well, isn't it? Because there's just a 1 there. That one's a non-unit fraction because it's got a denominator, beg your pardon, a numerator that is bigger than 1. Okay, moving on. I would like you to write down the fractions for each of these representations, and then I would like you to, it says circle them, you obviously can't do that, so tick or circle the ones that are unit fractions. So for the purpose of this, we're talking about the ones that are shaded green here, the ones that are shaded purple here, the ones that are shaded blue here, and the one that's shaded pink here. Okay, so pause and have a go at that. Okay, so this one, we have 7/10. So there are 10 equal pieces and 7 of them are shaded in green. Okay, so that was 7/10. And I didn't circle that as a, it's not a, I didn't circle it as a unit fraction because it is a non-unit fraction because it's got a 7 as a numerator, which is greater than 1. So that one is not circled. This one. 4 equal pieces, so there's 4 on the bottom for the denominator, and 2 of them are shaded in purple, so it's 2/4. So again, I'm not circling that one. It's not a unit fraction, it's a non-unit fraction because the numerator is greater than 2. Then up here I've got 1/3. So I've got 3 pieces, so 3 on the bottom as a denominator, and then just 1 piece is shaded. So that is a unit fraction. So I'll circle that one. And then finally down here, 4 equal pieces, 3 of them are shaded in, not a unit fraction, it's a non-unit fraction because the numerator is greater than 1 again. Okay, moving on. I would like you to draw me a representation for each of these fractions that I've written down, and then you can draw a representation and then shade in the correct number of pieces. You don't need to draw numerical pieces in your book, you can just draw some squares in your book, but for the purpose of this I'm just showing you, just put this on what I'd like you to do. So you would, moving my faff around. So for this one it's 2/7, so I've drawn a shape with 7 equal pieces and I've got to shade 2 of them, so 1, 2, like that. Okay, and so you do the same for the other, so draw a shape with 10 equal pieces, shade 9 of them, 9 equal pieces, shade 7, 8 equal pieces, shade 3, pause and off you go. Okay, so you should have some shapes with some shading on, and your shape with 10 squares in should have 9 of them shaded. Okay, and then here I've got a shape with 9 equal pieces because it's 9 for a denominator, and I've got to shade 7 of them. So I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It could be any 7. I've just chosen to do them together to sort of make them a bit easier to count. So for this one, for example, there's 8 equal pieces and I've got to shade 3 of them. I could just shade 1, 2, 3. It could be literally any 3 like that. I just generally put them together so that it's a bit easier to see. So moving on, here you need to match your match the fraction to the correct representation. So write the fractions out in your book and then put A, B, C or D next to which one they go with. So pause that and have a go, please. Okay, so when we're doing it together, I'm going to look first of all at my denominator. So I've got my denominator here is 5. So I'm looking for somewhere where there's 5. I can see there's more than 5 there. I can see there's only 4 there. I can see there's 5 here though, and one of them is indeed coloured in. So I'm going to join 1/5 with C. Now 3/4, I can see just here there's one that's in quarters, it's 4 equal bits, but there aren't 3 of them coloured in, so I'm going to ignore that one for now and look for another one. That's too many. Well, there's 4 here, look, and 3 of them are coloured in, yes. So 3/4 goes with D. Then 4/7, I can see it's not that one, that's not 7 equal pieces. Let's check this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 equal pieces, yes. And are 4 of them coloured yellow? 1, 2, 3, 4, yes, they are. So 4/7 goes with A. And then 2/4, I'm thinking it's going to go with B, but I'm still going to check. There's 4 pieces, it says. Yep, there are. And 2 of them should be shaded. Yes, they are. So you should have had those for your answers. Moving on. True or false? Pause here. Tell me if this is true or false. 3/8 is shown below. Off you go. Okay, let's have a little check then. I can see that there are 3 coloured in, so that's okay. My numerator is correct. Just going to use my pen to count my denominator ones though, because I don't want to get confused. Don't want to miss any out. They're sort of splodged everywhere, aren't they? So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh, uh-oh. So I'm not correct then, because the fraction I should have is 3/9. There are 9 equal spots and 3 of them are coloured in. So it's actually 3/9, not 3/8. So this one was false. Okay, here we have got some puffins and we've got some crocodiles. And Josh thinks that one of the fractions being represented below is 4/5. So can you pause this and have a look, see if you think he's correct and prove it? Okay, so I've had a look at this and I thought to myself, right, if Josh was trying to do a fraction to represent the crocodiles, he would needed to have counted all of the creatures together. So there were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 creatures altogether, and 1, 2, 3, 4 crocodiles. So if he was doing the crocodiles, he would have got 4/9 because he would have said there are 4 creatures altogether and 4 of them are, sorry, 9 creatures altogether and 4 of them are crocodiles. So that would have been 4/9. But never mind, maybe Josh was trying to sort out the puffins instead. Perhaps he was doing those and maybe that's the correct fraction. So again, he'd need to count all of the creatures together, and there are 9 and there are 5 puffins. So 5 would go on the top as the numerator. So that would be 5/9. So Josh is not correct, because if he was counting the crocodiles, he should have got 4/9, and if he was counting the puffins, he should have got 5/9. And actually he's put 4/5. And I think I can see what Josh has done. I think he's counted all the crocodiles and put a 4 on the top, and then he's counted all the puffins and there are 5 and put 5 on the bottom. So I think that's where he has gone wrong. And I've proved it because I've shown you what the correct fractions would be for crocodiles and for puffins. Okay. So this is your Hinge question. Which image is the odd one out? So can you pause here, please, and try and work out which one is the odd one out? Okay, so what I did was I counted how many circles there were and how many were coloured in here. I worked out that that was 5/8. Okay, so I counted my circles and then I counted how many were coloured in orange, and there were 5/8. And then for this one, counted how many equal pieces there were, and there were 8 again. And this time there were 6 of them coloured in. And then down here in C, this one's set out a bit funny, isn't it? It's a bit different to set out on a number line. And I was trying to work out, I thought, right, that's halfway between 0 and 1, and it's in 8ths, and half of 8 is 4, so that's 4/8. So I thought 5/8 is in the right place, and that's representing 5/8 as well, so that's okay. So I know that's representing 5/8. That's the same as that one. So then I had another look at this one, and again there were 8 pieces and there were 5 shaded in. So I decided that B was the odd one out, because B was representing 6/8 and all the rest are representing 5/8. And then to redraw the image to show the correct fraction, I would draw this the same. If you haven't already done it, pause it now and have a go. Okay, so I'm hoping that you drew some sort of rectangle like this with 8 squares and only coloured in 5 of them. Okay, that's what I'm hoping for. So it doesn't matter. Like I said, it doesn't matter which 5 you colour in, but I'm hoping that there would just be 5 of them coloured in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like that. Okay, so on to your tasks for today. Silver, you have got some fractions. So you write the fractions down, and just like we did in the shared session, you write down which letter, which picture, A, B, C or D goes with them, and the same for this side. Okay. So you can pause here and have a go at that. And then for gold, you've got some of the number lines. So Sam places a fraction on the number line. Is he correct? Explain how you know. So try each of those. You might need to draw those out in your book to try and work out if he's drawn it in the right place. If we look at this one, for example, he's drawn that exactly halfway, I think, from what I can see. So he's drawn 6/8 halfway along the number line. Well, if you think about what half of 8 is, I think half of 8 is 4, so it should be 4/8 there. So for this one, I would say Sam is not correct, because 4/8 goes there goes exactly halfway, and 6/8 would be a bit further up here. And you do the same for the other children on the other questions. Okay, so pause here and have a try at those. And then we can move on to the plastering task, which is all sometimes never to start with. So Alex says, if I split a shape into 4 parts, I have split it into quarters. Is she always correct? Is she sometimes correct? Or is she never correct? And think about those 4 parts, what they need to be, okay? And then explain your answer. And then which representations of 4/5 are incorrect? So there's some different pictures and representations here. This one should help you with this one, actually. If you work out the answer to this one, the reason why one of these is incorrect will help you with this side. So maybe look at those 2 together. Then when you've done that, your maths lesson for Tuesday is over, and I will see you again tomorrow, and we'll be halfway through the week then because it's Wednesday. So see you tomorrow. Bye bye.